Hey everyone. So, first things first, I've been sick these past couple of days, and also my state is currently expecting a cyclone in the next couple of days. So, if my voice sounds kind of weird, or if there's any sort of background noise during this video, just put it down to that. But I woke up not only to the news that my state is probably going to be Atlantis in about 24 hours, but also that Rolling Stone have published a list of every Steely Dan song ranked, and I got this news courtesy of my good pal Dingus the Kid, who has made his own Steely Dan ranking video, which I'll of course link in the description. But I clicked on it and I looked at maybe one or two entries, and then I immediately went, well, you know, if this is such a terrible list, maybe I should at least get something out of it by making a little video reacting to it, because I know Rolling Stone has had many sort of controversial, or at least they're a big music publication. So they've made a lot of lists. They made a lot of very big lists, like top 500 albums of all time, and those sorts of lists tend to stir up controversy, but I've never tended to care so much in those instances because, you know, ranking something like top 500 artists or top 500 albums is a very difficult task, and so it's sort of impossible to please everyone. But this is something that only a real fan of Steely Dan would ever set out to do, and so it's something that's a bit more solid. You know, there's only so many Steely Dan songs. I mean, you know, it seems like they've had a different sort of definition of what outtakes to include and what outtakes to not include, but regardless, you know, there's 80 studio Steely Dan songs, or 81, 82 if you include like FM and stuff. That being said, yeah, I haven't looked at any of the songs. Well, I've looked at maybe 2 of the songs on this list. So without further ado, let's jump in to this list. I don't actually know if anyone in particular has written this. This might be a group effort, but yes. Anyway, let's dive in. So number 84, we've got Negative Girl from Two Against Nature. Personally, you know, I wouldn't put this song last by any means. I mean, I spoke at length about what songs I would put last in my Can't Buy Through video, but, you know, something has to go last. You know, it's not a good start when it starts with the sentence, unsurprisingly, the back half of this list will be taken up mainly by their 2 post-reunion albums, solids that didn't quite deliver on the level of their 1970s work. Never a sign of someone who knows what the fuck they're talking about if they're already dissing the reunion albums. That being said, in terms of a last place pick, and certainly one where they're not extremely negative about them. They're not dissing this song, other than putting it in last place. They're not saying this is a terrible song, that is an insult to Steely Dan. I can't believe that such talented song. You know, it's just something has to go in last place. And if you're going to choose a reunion album song, you know, it's not like they're putting West of Hollywood here. So let's move on. Blues Beach, yeah, I mean, that's another one where it's like, it's not one of my favourites on Everything Must Go, definitely not my least favourite on Everything Must Go either. I think it's very catchy. It's got some great lyrics too, like in terms of just like obscure, weird lyrics, it's got some of the best on there. A hypothetical friend is like one of my favourite Steely Dan phrases ever. I love that. But yes, the Stone Soul's Picnic for the Early Resigned, yeah, no. I mean, yeah, so far nothing too horrible here. Gaslighting Abbey, I mean, yeah, no, that's one of the better songs than Two Against Nature. In my opinion, that would be a lot higher for me. Green Book definitely should be higher. That's a very groovy, fun song. I like that. I like that song a lot. Through with Bars. Okay, yeah, this is definitely an understandable peg for the bottom 10, or bottom 5 even. Also, I should say at this point, I do actually have my own Steely Dan ranking. I'm unsure whether or not I should put it out there. It's a Spotify playlist form. I'm not sure whether I should put that on in the description of this video, just because it might like sort of spoil my thoughts in terms of albums going forward for my series, but you know, I don't care. I'll probably link it. But yeah, Through with Buzz would be this is the first one that would probably rank similarly for me. That being said, I wouldn't rank Through with Buzz as my least favourite on Pretzel Logic. It's such a weird, bizarre song. I find that with the songs like this on Pretzel Logic, like, yeah, they're far from their most sophisticated or most nuanced, most realised versions of what they want to do, but it's like a minute and a half and it's over. You know, I find it very hard for that to get grating or annoying, and I find some sort of novelty value in hearing them just do this very sort of off-the-wall album where they're throwing lots of things at it and seeing what sticks. Through with Buzz doesn't really stick, but it's cute. It's not offensive, and in my opinion, this should definitely be lower than all of the other songs so far, especially I would say Green Book and Gaslighting Abbey are well deserving of like much higher spot. Lunch with Gina is, oh, they got the year wrong. They got the year wrong. Well, would you look at that? Hang on, have they done that for the previous ones too? Okay, they got the other ones right, but you really care about these last two albums, don't you? Nice one, guys. Well, let's just move on. Oh, come on, man. I love the Two Against Nature title track. It's so quirky. And speaking of like weird lyrics, oh my god, I love that. It's so unique. Like, it's got like a weird sort of time signature. It's one of their jazziest songs. It's one that's really grown on me recently, I would say. But yeah, I love that song. With a Gun, yeah, no, that's definitely my least favorite on Pretzel Logic, I would say. And, it's probably it's just like, why are you guys doing like this novelty country and western like thing? I know we'll get to Pretzel Logic in my series soon enough, but yeah, With a Gun, I would agree on that being so low. That would be much lower in my opinion. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. That's like a top 40 Steely Dan song. Jack of Speed. How can you listen to Jack of Speed and not get that horn riff get stuck in your head? Oh, Jack of Speed. No, they've really done Jack of Speed dirty there. I hope they at least put some of these reunion album songs in the top half, but I don't see that happening at this point. East St. Louis Toodaloo, I mean, that's a shout. That's a shoo-in for the bottom half in basically any list. It's not so much, it's a perfectly faithful rendition of a Duke Ellington track, but it seems kind of unnecessary on the album, and I'm not really sure what they achieved by doing it. No real comment there, that would be low for me too. Chain Lightning, that's your pick for the worst on Katie Lied? Wow, that's probably one of the worst picks so far. I love Chain Lightning. So bluesy. It's probably one of the highlights of the back half of Katie Lied for me, which in my opinion is by far and away like the weaker half. But yeah, it's also not like top 3 on Katie Lied for me either. As far as this list goes so far, it's, par for the course. There's been nothing so far that's shocked me. Like, I'm sort of expecting sort of reunion album bashing. There's been nothing so far that shocked me. It's not like they put, the Gaucho title track at 73, have they? No, Pixeline. Just more standard reunion album bashing. Move on. Yay! Okay, I'm glad that this doesn't get too high on the list. I hate this song. I mean, I don't hate it, but in terms of Steely Dan quality, like, I hate it. This should be... I don't know, I don't care how many songs you include from Steely Dan's discography, this should be bottom in my opinion. I don't know why David Palmer is the photo for this image, because, unlike most sins on Can't Buy a Thrill, he's not responsible for this one. But there you go. Cousin Dupree, I mean, I get that, like, this song is a bit of an uncomfortable one for a lot of people. For me, this song is one of the songs that does best based on lyrics alone for me. I think the music is catchy and groovy and like fun, like any song on Two Against Nature, but not one of the best. But the lyrics are so funny. It's like even they were like, this character is such a loser that we can't give him any hope, and he just gets completely shut down by his cousin whom he's trying to court. The dreary architecture of your soul has got to be like the greatest put down in all of history. So yeah, but I get it being lower. Oh my god. Oh, okay, that's the shocker so far. There we go. Yeah, no, that's like a top 3 song on Countdown to Ecstasy for me. What is their reasoning for this one? But the only album that Fagan and Becker wrote for an actual band is just straight up wrong. Like, they wrote Everything Must Go specifically in mind for a band. But I guess that's not a Steely Dan album, is it, according to this list? Yeah, I've never been someone of the opinion that the second Your Gold Teeth is better than the first. I think the first is the best one. It's so jazzy, so it's got such great piano playing. I love this song, and that's probably the shocker of the list so far. That is terrible placement. Change of the Guard, yeah, I mean, that's never going to rank as high as I would like it to. Second lowest on Can't Buy a Thrill is not a good placement in my opinion, but it's, whatever. It's not, it's an underrated song as far as Steely Dan go, in my opinion, so I get it. Everything Must Go. There's definitely a sort of appreciation for these albums among fans, but among music journalists, they just never get the appreciation they deserve, and like this sort of fantastic triumphant finale to the whole sort of Steely Dan project, as well as like Western civilization, it seems, because everything's been going downhill since 2003, much like Steely Dan predicted. They're the Steely Dan of the new Simpsons. You know, I'm used to this from these sorts of rankings, so I haven't got much to say at this point. They got the year right, at least. Almost Gothic should be higher. Throwback the Little Ones, yeah, I get that. I mean, we're sort of moving up into the less low rankings. Like this is beyond the bottom 20 now, but still. Oh no, sorry, just in the bottom 20. That's one of my least favorites on Katie Lied. I think Katie Lied ends quite weakly with those last two songs. Fire in the Hole, in my opinion, should be higher. One of the better songs on Can't Buy a Thrill. I Got the News should not be this low. Shouldn't be this low, because in my opinion, everything on Asia makes like the top 25. Easily. I should start reading these little blurbs a bit more, you know, I don't want this video to go on for like an hour, so, and also that, I mean, this is looking at the quality of this ranking so far, they're not going to be particularly insightful, are they? Monkey in Your Soul, yeah, it's a fun little novelty song. I would put that higher, but I get it being lower. Oh, fuck. Sorry, I was just about to go back and say something about Monkey in Your Soul being, like, not being better than I Got the News, but I've just seen what's next. West of Hollywood is like a top 20 Steely Dan song. Ends with a bang. Yeah, it sure does end with a bang. Much more of a bang than you're giving it credit for. I love West of Hollywood. I love West of Hollywood. It's like the first song I recommend to anyone who hasn't heard those last two albums. I even love like at the very end that sort of like weird, I can't even explain the noise, but it just ends with this weird sort of quirky synth noise. That is the worst pick so far in my opinion. Third World Man, okay, so this is the first one on Gaucho. So yeah, they're talking about the second arrangement, this replacing the second arrangement. Third World Man is probably my least favourite on Gaucho, but Gaucho is another album where even my least favourites would rank higher than 61. Not as shocking a pick as West of Hollywood, but still pretty bad. But we are out of the bottom 20 now. Everything You Did is the worst on Royal Scam. Yeah, I mean, I could take that. Shouldn't be as low as 60, but what are you going to do? Rose Darling should be higher, but, you know, we're getting to the point now where, like, aside from a few personal differences, like some songs I think should definitely be lower that they haven't ranked yet. You know, it's hard to rank these middle songs. When I was doing my rankings with my dad, we both agreed that, like, the middle section is the hardest. You generally have sort of a feel for what you want your top 20 and bottom 20 to be roughly, if you're sort of a hardcore fan, but yeah, the middle section is where it's just like, I want everything to be in my top 20. And I imagine that someone sort of passionate about Steely Dan enough to make this list would tend to agree. Kings should be higher. One of the better songs on Can't Buy a Thrill, but we move on. The Bear, okay, that's an interesting one. I don't include the sort of Gaucho outtakes in my rankings. The only sort of extras I include are usually like FM and maybe Here at the Western World. I love The Bear. So I'm glad that they're including it. I'm glad that they're putting it relatively high for an outtake. Green Earrings? You're putting it 56? Oh man, this is killing me. Oh man, this is awful. Oh no. Green Earrings? My beloved Green Earrings? No. Green Earrings is actually my dad's favourite Steely Dan song. It's not my favourite Steely Dan song. I'd put it in like 20th maybe place, but 56 is an insult. I mean, just the drumming alone. That was sort of what made me appreciate it on the same level he does. It's just like the nuances of the drumming. They're just some incredible moments on there. Slang of Ages. Okay, I typically put Slang of Ages, and I'm sorry Walter Becker fans because I love Circus Money, but Slang of Ages is probably my least favourite on Everything Must Go. He does a good job on vocals here, I just think it's like, it's not my favourite on Everything Must Go by any means. I mean, I probably wouldn't put it as low as they put some of the songs from Everything Must Go. Pearl of the Quarter, better than Your Gold Teeth, really? Godwhacker, I mean, that's my favourite song on Everything Must Go. Should be a lot higher. Should be a lot higher. It feels like they've said that they recorded Everything Must Go as like a sort of a live album or an album suited to live performances, and you can really hear it on this one. It feels so alive, it feels so energetic. My dad's spoken about what it was like when they played it live and talking about how it just gets into this awesome groove. That should be higher. Bethesda, not really got a problem with that one being here. The Last Mall, I'm surprised The Last Mall is ranking higher than a lot of other songs on like Godwhacker. I mean, I guess it's all relative, but I'm not surprised so much that these albums are ranking lower because, like I've said, that's pretty par for the course, but I am surprised at what songs are sort of ranking higher amongst those. Typically Godwhacker is, at least Godwhacker and usually West of Hollywood are kind of shoe-ins for highlights from those albums. What a Shame About Me. Funny lyrics, cool, jazzy, not one of my favourites on To Against Nature, not one of my least favourites, sort of a middle ranking song, so moving on. Barrytown in the top 50, and we are moving into the top 50 now, but Barrytown in the top 50, that's an interesting choice. It was an interesting choice to have a lot of those sort of weird, quirky Pretzel Logic songs higher up than sort of like the bottom 20s, the bottom 30s. I like Barrytown, but I wouldn't put it that high. Everyone's Gone to the Movies. Yeah, so look, like I said, we're in like the 40s now. It's very difficult to rank these. I'm not sure where I would have put this in my rankings. Probably slightly higher than this, but not by much. My Rival, yeah. Look, I've always adored My Rival. At certain points, it's been like one of my favorites on Gaucho. I mean, there's 7 songs on Gaucho, and most of them are incredible, so it's difficult to rank. It's an underrated shout from there in terms of their 70s album. It's probably one of their most underrated album songs. Things I Miss the Most. This is bizarre. I mean, I like that song a lot. Like, I love these songs, but it's just like from an outside looking in perspective on like a list that's being pretty unkind to these albums. I just wonder what it is about this. Is it the lyrics? It's probably the lyrics because it's like one of their most like Steely Dan characters ever, but Godwhacker should be in its place, really, if not higher. Brooklyn Knows the Charmer Under Me. I don't like that song that much, but you know, I expect some of these more popular Can't Buy Through cuts to be this high, so yeah. Also, Fagan doesn't sing on this one, guys. Parker's Band. Interesting that that's high, as it is. Only a Fool Would Say That? Okay. That's a respectable place for Only a Fool Would Say That. In fact, I think that's pretty similar to where I would have it. Within a margin of 10, I would say. Yeah, I love that song. Janie Runaway? Like, you know, great song, but why this one instead of West of Hollywood? I mean, I'll give it credit. This is at least an interesting ranking. There are surprises in here for sure. Night by Night, easily my favourite on Pretzel Logic. Like, that's a top 25 Steely Dan song in my opinion. That's a pretty bad ranking. Haitian Divorce? Okay, are we like... Look, I know I said that it's difficult to rank once you get to this point, but I feel like we're turning a corner here and this is getting pretty bad. This is getting pretty bad indeed. Charlie Freak? Charlie Freak at number 39, above Haitian Divorce and Night by Night, man. I mean, at Christmas time, sure, but man. Wow. Who knew David Bowie had such bad Steely Dan taste, eh? King of the World, that's another one of my favourites on Countdown to Ecstasy, and in my opinion, would comfortably make it at least 10 to 15 spots higher. The Second Arrangement, 37. I never really thought about where I would put these songs, but that one would be pretty high for me. In its like cleanest state, that would be pretty high for me. Razor Boy, yeah, about where I would put it. Maybe a bit higher for me, but you know, whatever. Home at Last? Oh. 35? Oh my god. What? Are you kidding me? That's like one of the best Steely Dan songs. No, that is one of the worst. That is one of the worst selections so far, putting that song this low. I mean, I get that it's difficult to rank these songs, but that is like comfortably a top 20 Steely Dan song, and I don't think there's much room for debate there. It's just like, watch the Asia Classic Albums documentary segment on it, and you'll just immediately understand why. Bernard Purdie is such a character, and he brings such character to this song, and it has an amazing instrumental break, one of the prettiest pieces of music Steely Dan ever wrote, one of their most genuine and actually works. Moving on, I guess. Okie dokie. Showbiz Kids, my least favourite on Countdown to Ecstasy. I think that's a bit of a hot take, but I would put this song considerably lower, but it's pretty popular for that album, so I get it. Anyone That I'm Welcome To, my least favourite on Katie Lied, but I get it, it's decently popular. The Boston Rag is probably slightly higher than I would put it, but I haven't got much to say on that one either. Josie, come on. That's like another top 10 song. These people are not giving Asia the respect it deserves, and that surprises me. Here at the Western World at number 30, I mean, I love that song, but that's like 20 spots higher than it would go for me. It's definitely not better than like Home at Last, or West of Hollywood, or Night by Night, or Your Gold Teeth, or any number of the, or Josie, or any number of the bizarre picks so far, but moving on. Don't Take Me Alive, yeah, that's a respectable place for it. I'd put it higher, but, you know. Midnight Cruiser, a lot higher than I would put it, but I get it, that's a fun song. Time Out of Mind is another one that I would put in like my top 15 songs. But we're getting into the top 20s now. There's nothing that's going to be too egregious, hopefully. Unless I go to 26 and it's like Deacon Blues, Kid Charlemagne. Daddy Don't Live in That New York City No More. Higher than I would put it, but good song. The Royal Scam, again, higher than I would put it, but great song. Pretzel Logic, yeah, that's one of my favourites from the album. That's about right. Maybe I would put it slightly lower. Black Friday, yeah, agree. Glamour Profession, that's like a top 10 for me, but fair enough, I guess. Actually, you know what, not fair enough. That's a fantastic song. Like, that's one of the, that's the best on the first half of Gaucho. That's like some of the best Steely Dan lyrics, some of the best Steely Dan songwriting. I love some of the subtle like piano bits in that song. I love everything about that song, actually. And so that is a solidly top 10, top 15 at least Steely Dan song for me. Bad shout. FM was a pretty big hit. No surprise that it's relatively high. These lists tend to be sort of fairly populist in terms of including the hits higher up. I know there are some hits coming up that I definitely disagree with, but, you know, yeah, I get it. FM is a great song. Bodhisattva, yeah, I'd put that higher, but not much higher. Sign In Stranger, I'd put that lower, but not much lower. Your Gold Teeth 2, I would put that considerably lower. That song seems to be like one of the songs that gets the most love in terms of like more sort of hardcore Steely Dan fans, which I've just never quite got on the same level. Like, I like the song, it's not a song I dislike by any means, but I've never sort of connected with it in the same way as some people do, and I definitely prefer the other version, which would probably be about here for me. Any major dude will tell you. Like I said, these lists tend to be fairly populist. It's not a song I would put this high by any means. I think it would probably be in my bottom 15, not my top 15, but, you know, it's fine. The Caves of Altamira, yeah, I would put that slightly lower, but not by much. I adore Caves of Altamira, so I'm glad that that's as high as it is. Reeling in the Years, okay, I'm glad that doesn't get any higher. It should be way lower, in my opinion, but I'm glad that it's at a 15 and not number 1. I'm scared as to where a certain other song is, but moving on. Hey 19, like I said, the hits tend to rise to the top here. Probably one of my lesser favourites on Gaucho, honestly. Definitely not better than Glamour Profession or My Rival, but fair enough. Bad Sneakers is, I think that's almost exactly where I had it on my last rankings, maybe one spot lower. I think I had it at 12. Yeah, I love that song. One of the best on Katy Lied. Good placement. Do It Again, higher than I would put it, but fair enough. But where is it? Come on, please don't make it into the top 10. Babylon's Sisters. Okay, I love that song, but I'm more worried about something else by now. Oh no. Okay, Black Cow. Yeah, Black Cow I think actually is, like, I think that's exactly where I have it in my rankings, so good shout. Gaucho, yep, that's another great song for the top 10, absolutely. My Old School, yep, I agree. Peg, yes, I agree. Dr. Wu, sure, yes, I agree, absolutely. Asia, not one of my favourites on that album, but definitely deserves to be high, sure. Really Don't Lose That Number should not be at number 4, but where? Oh my god. So they're putting Dirty Work in the top 3. Oh no. Oh no. This already is bad enough. Like, I don't really care for Ricky Don't Lose That Number, but compared to Dirty Work. Oh no. Oh my god. Ah. You see, shit like this is why I want to put Dirty Work as my least favourite Steely Dan song, because at least Turn That Heartbeat Over Again is relatively underrated and quirky. This song gets so much praise, and it's just a fucking nothing as far as their, yeah, it offers a glimpse into their career for aspiring brill building songwriters. It sure does. It sure does. But I guess some people like that more than I do. Look, I already spoke about this song at length in my past 2 videos, but I would put this in my bottom 3, not my top 3. But then that means that their top 2 is my top 2. Is it in the same order? Yeah, that is my top 2 as well. So, lots of ups and downs there, as far as this sort of thing goes. Compared to what Dingus sort of prepared me for, look, if we're being realistic about it, it was never going to be much worse than this. Like, they weren't going to put Through with Buzz at number 1. You know, it wasn't going to be just like complete nonsense, but I definitely don't agree with this list. In many ways, songs like Night by Night, God Whacker, West of Hollywood, Home at Last, Green Earrings, Your Gold Teeth 1, Josie, some others that I'm blanking on, Glamour Profession should all be higher, and songs like Dirty Work, Ricky Don't Lose That Number, and Reelin' in the Years should probably be lower, and Your Gold Teeth too. But it is a sort of personal opinion, and I get that with these lists, you know, they have to sort of take, and any major dude will tell you should be lower, they have to sort of take popularity into, and sort of, not just popularity, but how iconic the songs are. When you're a music journalist, that sort of thing, sort of, you know, if a song is enduring, that's generally a sign of a song's sort of, not necessarily quality, but it adds a sort of extra dimension when you're ranking them, compared to just like a fan doing it completely biasedly, like I did. So it's sort of difficult for me to engage with this list in that sort of way. Like, I can't be as objective as they're trying to be. But that being said, I think this list is still far from perfect. I think there are some glaring mistakes in there, specifically in terms of some of the songs that they ranked so low. I think it's sort of bizarre, the sort of songs that they picked from the last 2 albums, the reunion albums, that made it higher than others, when songs like Gaslighting Abbey, West of Hollywood, God Whacker, Green Book got really badly snubbed, so many others. Jack of Speed got snubbed, made it so low, put so low, and some sort of more sort of middle ranking songs. I think, I'm not being completely biased there, I think most people would agree that most fans would agree that the sort of rankings of those albums was a bit weird. Yeah, this isn't like, put it this way, I've seen worse lists. I think Dingus's was better. I think I agreed with Dingus's more. But I've seen worse lists. I mean, Steely Dan album rankings are almost unanimously terrible. I've yet to see a good one. Like, I've never seen a major publication sort of undertake this project, and I think it's a good sign that the band is now at this sort of popularity, this sort of resurgence, that this is happening. So overall, if I were to give this ranking sort of its score out of 10, I would maybe lean towards like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. Because I can't in good conscience give anything higher to a sort of generically, hits good, reunion albums bad sort of placement. Anyway, let me know in the comments below what you think are the best and worst Steely Dan songs. Or just post an entire rankings if you want. I don't even know if that would be allowed under like YouTube character limits. But other than that, and yeah, let me know what you thought of this ranking as well, and of this video. Yeah, that's it for now. I'm gonna go work on another video soon, so goodbye.